Let me ask you something honest. When was the last time a like turned into a customer? Most founders I talk to are posting consistently. Good content, real effort, growing engagement, and almost none of it is turning into actual business conversations. So they post more. They try different formats. They study the algorithm. Still, nothing. Here's what's actually happening. They've built an audience, but they haven't built trust with buyers. And those are two completely different things. An audience is people who enjoy your content. Buyers are people who trust you enough to have a conversation about a problem they're paying to solve. Likes come from the first group. Deals come from the second. And the content that attracts one almost never attracts the other. Let me show you what I mean. Here are two LinkedIn posts. Same topic, same author, same 5 minutes to write. Post 1. The best salespeople don't sell, they listen. Relatable, broadly true, gets 200 likes, mostly from other salespeople. Post 2. If your B2B sales cycle is longer than 90 days and you're selling to VP level, the problem is almost never the price. It's that you're talking to someone who feels the pain but can't sign the check. Here's how to find the person who can. Fewer likes. But the VP of sales reading that doesn't just like it. They save it. They send it to their team. They think, I need to talk to whoever wrote this. Same effort, completely different outcome. One built an audience. One built trust with a buyer. So what makes content move a buyer instead of just an audience? 3 things. First, it names a specific pain they're living with right now, not a general industry trend, not a broad observation about the market. A specific, uncomfortable situation that your ICP finds themselves in regularly. The more specific the pain, the more the right person feels like you wrote it for them. And when someone feels like content was written for them, they don't scroll past. They stop. They read every word. They want to know who you are. Second, it challenges an assumption they operate on. Most people in your ideal customer profile are doing things a certain way simply because that's how it's always been done. If you can demonstrate that the assumption behind that behavior is wrong or outdated, something shifts. They won't just find your content interesting, they'll start questioning beliefs they were once certain about. And when people begin to question, they become open to conversation. That's the moment you want to create. It gives them something they can use today. Not a 12-step framework or a concept to ponder. Just one specific thing they can apply in the next 24 hours. Content that delivers immediate value builds trust faster than anything else. It demonstrates, even before any conversation, pitch, or demo, that you truly know what you're talking about. Now here's the mistake that kills most founders' content strategy. They write about their product, features, updates, use cases, why their solution is better than the alternative. And nobody shares that. Nobody saves that. Nobody DMs them about that. Because that content is about you, not about them. The shift is simple, but it changes everything. Stop writing about what your product does. Start writing about the problem your buyer is living with right now. Your product becomes relevant the moment they trust you enough to have a conversation. But that conversation only happens if the content earns it first. Consistency is key. Content doesn't work in bursts. I've seen founders post intensely for 3 weeks, only to stop when results fall short. That's the wrong move. Here's how a buyer experiences your content. First post, they scroll past. Third post, they start to notice you. 7th post, they recognize your expertise. By the 12th post, they relate to the pain points you've been addressing. You become the first person they think of. That's how content closes deals. Not through one viral post, but through consistent, specific, buyer-focused content over time. So to summarize, stop optimizing for likes. Optimize for recognition from your ICP. Name their pain. Challenge their assumptions. Give them something useful today. Write about their problem, not your product, and show up consistently. Trust is built in months, not posts. If you're creating content but it's not turning into conversations, that's almost always a targeting and messaging problem, not a volume problem. That's exactly the work we do at Match B2B. We'd love to talk.